This is Raising Kings, a space where single mothers raising young Black men come to heal, grow, and lead with power. We're not just raising boys, we're raising kings. Hosted by Jennifer Tolliver, a mother, mentor, and warrior in the fight for generational change. Let's get to work.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another awesome episode of the Raising Kings podcast. It is my absolute pleasure to introduce Terrell White, known to the world as Relly Rell. To the world, he's a creator. To the culture, a catalyst. But to that young Black boy watching, he's a mirror. Proof that your voice matters, your dreams are divine, and your story is sacred. He turned pain into poetry and vision into legacy. The world didn't give him a seat, so he built the table. This is Relly Rell, y'all. Thank you so much for being here.
And appreciate it.
All right, no problem. So, like I said, we're honored to have you here. And I want to start a little bit, with your backstory. Can you tell us what it was like growing up in Lancaster, California? And how did those early years shape you as the creator you are today?
Man, growing up in Cali, period, is just it's something that for any Black boy, you have to navigate. You have to actually learn how to move in a smart way. So it really teaches you to, almost cultivate. And it really, California is just different. I mean, I think it's more like, you can relate because it's more like Chicago. It's a grind. It's full of trauma, full of happiness, full of joy, full of a lot of different elements that shape you into this unstoppable type of person, right? For me, growing up in Lancaster, it's like more on the outskirts of LA. It's like an hour, 10 minutes away, but they call it mini LA because that's where everybody started kind of filtering and relocating to just to get away from all the drama, but it actually caused more drama and more drama. So for me, my escape was either sports or drama. And, that kind of, when you grow up in those environments and you start seeing what's really going on in the world and in your city, you have to escape some way. And good thing I took art and sports to kind of keep me out of that.
Yeah. So you created both music and literature for young Black boys. And I'm just wondering what kind of was the spark that ignited that creative flame you went to?
I really just make stuff that I like. Honestly, I always think of that little kid that I was.
Yeah.
Try to make him proud of me, inspire just kids that look like me. So the music, the art is just an extension of my creativity. I do a lot of stuff, tattoos, art, like any medium with art. I try to kind of go into, even was tagging on the walls for a little bit. I feel like creativity, especially with art, is the only thing that can truly set you free as far as like thinking for yourself, because there is no outside noise. There is no somebody telling you which spots to fit in. It's just being free. So that's just a way to tap into that.
Yeah. So when you get into do you get into the flow state doing your creative work?
Yeah, I've learned to tap into the universal library of creativity. So nothing really comes from you. Everything comes from one spot. Yeah. That's why, like, if you don't create it, you always see somebody else create it.
Yeah.
Like, dang, I had that idea 10 years ago.
Yes.
But that's because if it's given to you, you're supposed to create it. And if it's not, it's going to skip you and go past somebody else. So that's one of my gifts, is to tap into that, to be like, to see what's given to me and actually interpret it in music, art, writing. But I didn't like the writing. I just learned how to love it.
Yeah. So copywriting is really just like putting a tag on what you tapped into, from the universe. Like, look what I got through and created and and did. That's dope.
Yeah, I just feel like I'm a great vessel.
Yeah.
I listen, I see, so I'm able to interpret my dreams or my visions and put it on paper. And even form. The music stuff happened by accident because nobody would help me. So I just started learning, as Black folks, we always hear music. Either you beating on the table or the wall when you're growing up. So you always hear music. It's in us. So to express it, it's just technology just made it easier.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm coming in assuming that Relly Rell is kind of like an alter ego for you. I have to edit that part. But how did that come to life, and what does he represent for you and your audience?
Alter ego. You could call him that, but it's really a nickname my mother gave me. She called me Rell all the time. I had to put some swag on this. I had to add Relly Rell.
All right.
Relly Rell is just that creative freedom. It's the person that can just tap into himself and be able to just create it my own way.
Yeah.
Like it's the ultimate freedom. So and it's a way for me to separate it from my actual world with my family, my wife and kids, and this entertainment industry, because all this is really entertainment, but with a purpose.
Right.
So I try to put that in front. Relly Rell is just the front of the entertainment world.
Yeah. Okay, that's dope.
Because then I can actually know who knows me. If you call me Rell, I'm like, okay. If you call me other things, then
that's
we know who's that.
See, I done messed it up now. I did it backwards.
Yeah,
I gotta make a different name.
Separate. Because there's so many Relly Rells out there that I kind of disappeared.
Really?
Yeah. Google Relly Rell. Watch how many come up.
Okay. All right.
Shout out to all the Relly Rells out there.
What's up, Relly Rell? Take alter ego.
My variant.
Right, yeah, I know, right? So I've heard you mention like a few different mantras. I've heard you say, well, one of your mottos is dream, hustle, and inspire, right?
Yeah.
I've also heard you say confidence, energy, communication, and motion. So can you walk us through how these different mantras guide your work in your life?
Yeah, dream, hustle, inspire. I used to always say dreams do come true. That was like the first thing I've always said. And then my wife one day was like, you know what you are? She was like, you're dream, hustle, and inspire. I was like, you're right. I'm going to use it. She always has amazing concepts and ideas. You know,
that's crazy how your wife birthed this idea, you know,
yeah.
through the mother.
I feel like she really just seen that in me.
Yeah.
Like, she was able to categorize it.
Mm-hmm.
So dreams always do come true. Never give up. And that's been like, that's what helped me get from the hood. That's what helped me escape California. And I wouldn't really say escape. It gave me a different purpose. So I feel like you have to dream. If you don't dream, I feel like you have no purpose in the world. You have to be able to see beyond what's in your environment. So dreaming is super, super important. Hustle and never give up. Like I've been actually doing this since '99. It's been a lot of stuff that's happened to me, but my consistent grind and hustle has gotten me through. I just never gave up, and then inspire others to do the same. If you're gonna do all of these things, you got to be able to leave a bridge behind to inspire the next generation to do the same thing. So dream, hustle, inspire. That's all really it's about, is taking me, laying that foundation, being the change I want to see in the world, and leaving the bridge so all young boys, young girls can follow. And then with confidence, energy, communication, and emotion, that's really what Dear Black Boyz is based off of. The 4 pillars to greatness, I call it. I feel like confidence is the number one thing not only Black boys, but anyone needs to pursue their purpose, their dreams, and this life. I mean, it's wild out here. Whether you in the streets of Chicago, California, you know, Midwest, New York, we all have that same bond and story. Confidence I feel like is the gateway to manhood. Yeah. And then energy, being able to tap into your energy, understanding negative, positive energy, finding your peace and energy, being able to trust your gut, like in the book.
Yeah.
Get you out of situations, communication, not only external, but internal, being able to ask yourself certain things, do shadow work, to really take you into that next level. And then emotion, being emotional intelligent. A lot of people that if they only would have controlled their emotions, they would have been able to see another day, being able to go home to their family.
Or keep their reputation in their business they've been building for the past 15 years. You know, we see people ruin their whole situation because they never learn how to control their emotions. So definitely important.
Yeah.
All right. So I believe one of your goals is to dismantle the mindset of enslavement. So how do you begin that conversation with the young Black boy or African American boy who doesn't even know, who may not know he's even carrying that with him?
And that's an amazing question. You got some good questions. That's
Thank you.
coming out of the box. It starts within, being able to see yourself for who you are and speak your truth. Being okay with perspective. Man, perspective I feel like is the ultimate thing to keep you out of that enslaved mindset.
Yeah.
Questioning everything, being able to, and that's what I love about young kids and young boys. And I feel like sometimes it gets taken out of context, but for all moms out there, let your boy question everything because this world will make you submit in
Yeah.
any form, any way. So being able to question at first gives you that confidence
Mm-hmm.
to be able like, okay, I believe in myself. I know I don't like the word belief because I feel like belief is doubt. So I know myself, being able to know myself and who I am as the overall the grand design of this world and this experience of human living,
Mm-hmm.
being able to shine a light and grow without a box. That all starts inward. So to break the mental chains, you gotta trust yourself. You gotta know yourself. I feel like that's the only way because everybody's gonna have a perspective, everybody's gonna have an opinion, and it's okay to shift it. But at the end of the day, you gotta know who you are, and you can't let somebody pull you in any direction to shift that.
How can you be the head of any household? You know, if anybody can just come in and you just like the wind and float anyway, you don't know what your principles are in your life. You don't know how you want to raise your family. So that's definitely important.
Yeah, and I feel like your household starts inwards though. Like it's all here. Like you can always have a family and but if you're not the change you want to see in the world and you waiting to teach somebody else to be that change, then kind of you can't lead anywhere. You can't expect anybody to follow what you're doing because you waiting on the other person to do the same thing that you're trying to do.
Right.
So for me, it's and it if you shine that light on a boy or a young girl to say, I'm you and you are me, and I see you as your greatest aspects and personality and who you are, and life is easy.
Yeah, that's amazing. So, what role does mentorship play in your work, and how do you see your influence reaching the next generation?
It's interesting because I've known my purpose since I was 6, and I know that's kind of crazy, but I've always said I'm gonna make a positive impact on anybody I come across.
Yes.
So I've been mentoring people since I was young, but the mentorship is really laying that bridge and that foundation for the next generation. That's why what I do, and what my team does in Relly Rell Studios, the home of teen animation, is really focused on that next generation coming through. So I've mentored kids that's still to this day, I'm mentoring kids, being able to, as far as coaching, training kids, even with art, I teach my nieces and nephews the basis of drawing. And I always tell my own kids, like, if you can draw, that's like one of the greatest gifts the universe will give you because you can actually take what you see in your mind and make it real on paper. And that's like writing too. So that's why creativity is teaching them the foundation of that, and everything I teach in the book is it's just an extension of my mentorship. I can't impact everyone all at once, but I can give them the seeds that they can pick up and learn a little bit about themselves and see themselves in a different light.
Yeah.
I've had people I mentored that's played in France. Yeah, going on to do incredible things. So mentorship is the way of giving back to your community and letting them see themselves in a different way, in a different light.
And so you just said that you've known what your path was since you were 6, and that wasn't really surprising to me because it's the same situation here. So I wanted to know, for you, was it a straight path to where you are now?
Yes, I feel like it is a straight.
Because I've been knocked off so many times, and to get to this point, even it's like a restarting over for like the millionth time. So it's like
You're still going straight. I feel like yes, it's a straight path, and as long as you get up and keep going.
okay,
It doesn't matter how many times you get knocked down. It really I know it's cliche, but it's really how many times you get up. 'Cause
yeah,
I mean, man, this industry is grinding.
yeah,
Like, it's a lot of people that's out for themselves, and they will say stuff and say things that really will get you like, "Okay, they're some good people," and then
yeah,
so I don't think it's ever about being a straight path. It's just there's gonna be so many obstacles in your way. When your purpose is bigger and it's meant to impact on a wider scale, oh yeah, you're gonna be hit with a lot of adversity. But I feel like that's the universe actually testing you and seeing if you really who you say you are.
yeah,
So I don't look at it as a straight path. I just feel like now the obstacles used to knock me down a little better back when I was younger because I just didn't understand the industry but it's usually always it's almost like a shift in which way you should actually be going. When we see our vision is always to a point but without those adversities and obstacles and those things knock you down, I don't think you can ever see it. Because if everything goes correctly, exactly how you want, then your purpose is just,
right,
I don't think it's as big as it's supposed to be.
right. It definitely fortifies you and builds you up, and you
Yeah.
come back to the same purpose. It's better every time. So I think you're right. You just feel like you're losing time, but you're not.
Nah, it's just you growing. You gotta grow too at the
Yeah.
same time. Like, yeah, we want to be able to just have that instant impact, but if it's not impacting yourself, then you can't really impact nobody else because then you don't have no testimony, you don't have no story to really share and relate, and you can't see yourself in everybody else.
Right. And then when you get to the industry aspect, like you say, you're not going to be ready and able to defend yourself, from all the BS that you were just talking about.
But to that point, I feel like that's what one thing I do love about Black neighborhoods that they do prepare you. Anybody that's out there that want to pursue, like y'all a lot smarter than a lot of these industry folks. Like they just got the resources.
Yeah.
But once you get your resources and you invest in yourself and you actually use that street knowledge with the industry knowledge, man, it's just like the streets.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It's the streets.
Okay. All right. Enough from my personal questions. All right. So as someone who's, worked across creative mediums, which message or project has, impacted you the most personally?
Man, I got like 100 projects. That's kind of tough. So I will always go back to the beginning. I had a project called City of Hoops, and it was just a project for me that started my whole entire journey. In '99, I entered an art competition. My art teacher forced me to. That was like the only AP class I was in. She was like, "You need to enter this competition." It was like the state art competition in California. And I had just drew my friends in my graffiti style, and I ended up winning first place for original concepts. I was the only person that actually drew my own stuff. A lot of people can copy, do sceneries, do people, but I actually drew my own people. So it just elevated me. That was like the catalyst to all my creative juices was that project, the City of Hoops, which we had to deal with PET that got sabotaged, but that's for a different day.
Okay.
But we coming back out, like it ain't stopped us. It just that's actually what made Dear Black Boyz come to life after that happened. So it was just, again, obstacles will always hit you. What I was working on that project for like, man, 20 years. I finally got my big break, and nah, it wasn't.
Years?
Yeah, but I learned a lot. I learned how to write scripts.
Yeah.
How to do animation. I learned how to make music. Like I said, nobody would help me. So I had to kind of just take it, put it on myself, and just, do everything I could to make this stuff come true. Like I have a team, don't get me wrong, they are incredible. But when it comes to seeing your vision through, man, you can't really rely on nobody.
Yeah, that's true.
I would say City of Hoops has impacted me the most because it's about my life. It's about my friends. It's about my family. It's a real life, almost dramedy, stemmed around basketball. It's a high school basketball teenager who's a was a basketball star by day and a private detective at night.
Oh, wow.
Solved the death of his dad and his father, and dealing with trauma, dealing with loss, dealing with still trying to pursue your dreams. You know what all Black boys go through.
Yeah. Okay. So, what are some of the cultural or societal message that you challenge most often in your writing and music?
I would probably say with the writing is to gain the gift of perspective. If you can do that, if you can gain the power of perspective, you'll be able to see everything completely different, even yourself. Being able to zoom out, basically not actually be yourself, zoom out and see it. That right there will help you through life. It will save you through a lot of things. And with music, it's just being present. I try to create music that actually will not get you to bob your head, but really just to almost put you in a meditative state.
Yeah.
Be able to deal with your inner self. So I feel like overall with my creativity is just to wake people up within, to know who they are and their power within.
Yeah.
That's why I create. And I just create because I feel like I'm super dope. I feel like I can cross a lot of mediums. I got a lot to say. I'm just trying to figure out what way to say it in every single genre, whether it's animation, literature, music, be able to put a positive message.
Right.
I just want to be able to leave a mark and they be like, okay, this was dope. This made me think. This made me do something different. This made me see myself different. This made me question certain systems that are put in place for us. So that's what I would say.
And so you mentioned your team, right? So how did you form your team, or did they come naturally, as you were doing your work?
I would say it happened organically through me just putting myself out there. One of my business partners I met on MySpace. It was really just a transactional thing at first because he seen my art.
Okay.
And then I found out he was an entertainment attorney. So I was like, so then we started bartering services, and then we just became super close. Like our partnership been around it's going on 18 years. So, and then just gradually meeting people on the way, him introducing me to certain people. Q, the song that you heard for the Dear Black Boyz Anthem, I've known him since he was 7. So it just depends who it is, but I feel like it happens. Your team happens organically. I feel like it's the same as like having friends in high school. How did you become friends with you gravitate to each other. I feel like the same energy you project out is what the people would be attracted to. So my team, yeah, I would say it happened organically.
Yeah. All right.
Like I didn't really go seek
Right.
people. It just happened. Sometimes. But that is like one of the only prayers I actually asked for was to put the proper people on my path. And you just gotta be open to see people for who they are. But there's been people that's in my path that I let in that ain't so good either. So, you just gotta use discernment and use your intuition to filter out who's good and who's bad. And I feel like the easiest way to do that is to put them through adversity. The same adversity you go through, and they always excited in the beginning, but after they so
Right.
I mean that's the blessing for me.
Yeah. Until we've been through a battle together, I got to side eye you a little bit.
Yeah, I don't really got a side eye. It's just like the universe having handle. I don't force anything no more. I used to, but everybody will be exposed for who they are.
You're right.
You just gotta have great contracts, make everything contingency just in case.
Good point. All right. So that was another question just for me. So the tribe is coming organically. Okay, I got to go outside first, I guess. All right. So you mentioned the power of questioning what we've been taught. Can you share a turning point where questioning changed everything for you?
Yeah, it may sound crazy, but that devil's perspective in the book,
Yeah.
which will make everybody cringe when you first hear it.
Mm-hmm.
But all it is taking with technology and information out, like you're able to, first of all, you're gonna be flooded with a lot of stuff and stuff you gotta decipher yourself. But it's a lot of information that has been hidden, that has been kept from us. So you post if you don't question everything, if you just going by what people say, then man, you in a world of hurt in this world because you're gonna be manipulated, you're gonna be pulled
Yeah.
every direction. So I feel like to answer your question, I was sitting with my son. We was on the couch and we was watching Buffy the Vampire Slayer, which is just crazy. It just randomly came on. It's like a new one.
Mm-hmm.
And half of the time she got to spend in the real reality. The other time she has to spend with the vampires.
Mm-hmm.
And the reality world is saying this is bad, and the vampires are saying they bad. So it just clicked. It was like, well, everybody's true. Everybody is right about their perspective and opinion, but nothing matters. None of that stuff matters. So if this side is questioning this side is questioning this side, it's your job to determine what's true for you. You're supposed to take both sides of what you hear all around you.
Yeah.
And take that and go inwards and actually know who you are. And that's why I always say, as long as you know who you are, questioning everything is fine. Even yourself. Question yourself too. Why not?
Yeah.
The only way you can grow is to question.
Definitely.
Without questions, you stuck in the same box. And we don't know everything, so why wouldn't you?
Yeah. They give you all your power away when you don't question everything.
Exactly.
Definitely. Okay, so what does spiritual and mental liberation look like for you? And how can our listeners start that journey, begin their own spiritual journey of the mental liberation?
Spiritual, I learned this when I went to Ghana. That's tapping into your ancestors. We went to the slave river in Ghana and we sat in that place, and that really opened up a whole different realm for me to understand how important your ancestors are.
Yeah.
So spiritually, I feel like we got to get back to that, calling on them more.
Yeah.
It's cool to call on religious stuff. For me, the closest person to me is my ancestors. So I'm calling them first. That doesn't separate you from God. I feel like, God is in you. So you can never be separated from that, even if you try. It's always going to push you and give you different obstacles to, wake you up. But I feel like the only spiritual way is to respect your ancestors and call on them when you need them. Ask them for guidance, wisdom, strength. And then the mental part is really just dealing with your inner child.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if you don't deal with your trauma, if you don't deal with that, then all that stuff go out the window. You're gonna have a lot of uh, emotional things going on that will pull you in any direction to get you to do anything. So those two, I would say, shadow work, going inwards for your mental clarity, being more present, not being too far in the future, not too far in the past, because it's only today. Only today matters. And then honoring your ancestors. I feel like you do those two things, you can't go wrong.
Yeah. And like you said, be an observer of yourself. So I think that's like the beginning of shadow work. Like you said, how you go up and look at yourself from a bird's eye view.
Wow.
And it's not easy because it's the parts of yourself that are true, but you don't like it. So it's not an easy thing to do, but it's so important.
But another thing on that though, we gotta watch what we say. Because words have power. I always tell the kids I mentor, even my own kids, that your words are your genie. Whatever you say is true. So even you saying that it's hard, it's gonna be hard.
Right.
Being able to listen to your words keeps you present. Like even on the back of the book, breaking the chain solo challenge is about that. Giving you the tools to change the way you speak.
So how can I reword that? Because my main reasoning for saying that is because I don't want people to think, it's a cakewalk and get in there and be like, whoa. So how can I, because now that you say that, I've said it in a lot of interviews. So how can I rephrase that so people can know what to expect without putting that word on it?
I think when you say try, when I'm trying, or it's hard, I think you gotta just say, you gotta do it. I don't think there's any other way. There is no perfect way to say it. You just gotta do it. But if you're already saying it's hard, then that already makes it hard.
Right.
You already setting it up to that type of energy to be putting it. Oh, it's hard. So I'm going into where it's hard. But if you go in there and just be and do, yeah, you might come out exhausted, but I feel like it's harder not to do it.
Facts.
That's how I feel. Like if you choose to sugarcoat stuff and not be honest with yourself and say this is hard, and then you wonder why it's hard, well, you kind of your words are your genie. Whatever you say is true. So
Right.
you kind of predicted that and manifested that already. That's another thing I try to mentor and tell kids is like watch what you say.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of people that's gonna actually listen to you and hear what you're saying,
Right.
and you're gonna be able to say stuff and say words that is going to continue to make yourself hard.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So, in what ways have you, besides watching your mouth and what you say and how you cultivate life through that way, but in what other ways have you learned to cultivate joy and peace as terrestrial manifestations of heaven?
I like your question. That's dope.
Thank you. I got Relly Rell on here. I had to come with it.
Being present. I feel like that's the only way you can find peace. If if you if you don't find stuff to keep you present, whether it's your family, music, writing, drawing, then you're always gonna be looking behind you and always looking in front of you. You're always gonna be wanting more or wishing you would have done something different. So we ain't here right now because tomorrow doesn't exist. Yesterday doesn't exist. A year from now is still gonna be today. So you gotta be present. The only way you can be present is breathing. I feel focusing on your breathing.
Yeah.
When you get too far in the past, too far in the future, a simple breath can keep you present. I feel like the joy is in the simplicity of life and just like breathing.
Yeah. Breathing is definitely, 'cause I deal with anxiety a lot, and just breathing helps wonders.
You
Box
deal with
breath.
anxiety, that's just because you're too far in the past, in the
Yeah.
future.
I know.
That's what anxiety is to me. It's just you're not here.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
haven't been here.
Amps up like a whole lot. It's like I know that there's some growth that needs to happen. It's like there's a lot of me that's dying at this point. But to me, that I don't know. That's what it feels like with anxiety.
Yeah, but even what you saying, you say I don't know. You saying
Right, right.
I'm dealing with it. It's a lot of words. Like words are powerful. Words are so.
Man, you make me want to redo the whole interview now.
Not at all. This is part of the journey, though.
Yeah.
But this is all perspective, though, and being present. I'm just present enough to listen to people's words.
Right. I appreciate that. All right, so we're almost done. We're gonna be wrapping up soon. So I got a few rapid fire questions for you.
Sure.
All right. So what's one quote or principle that you live by every day?
One quote: "Laugh at the bullshit." It's just something that I've said to my wife a lot, and she's written it on her calendar. Gouda. That's what she calls me, the ghetto Buddha. That's why the album is called Gouda. It's really just laugh at the bullshit because at the end of the day, it matters. Really, nothing matters.
Yeah.
So that's what I would say.
Laugh at the bullshit.
If you want to censor it, laugh at the BS, still the same thing.
Yeah, same thing. I like bullshit better.
Yeah, because there's a lot out there. Whether it's work, whether it's school, whether it's this industry, just laugh at it. Because
Mhm.
if you creating what you want and making an impact how you feel is necessary, nothing else matters. You only can have so much stuff, so much things, as long as you healthy and your family healthy and you able to wake up another day and try to make some headway with your purpose, you good.
Right. So what do you want that young boys listening to this walk away believing about himself?
I don't want them to believe anything. I just want them to know themselves. And I feel like belief is something that you're chasing. Belief is something that you're chasing. Knowing is something who you are. So I want them to know who they are. I want them to see them as I see them. See themselves as the greatest thing on earth because they are. Your ideals, your concepts, your voice matters. If they don't know how to do that, you can pick up the book, you can read it, or you can listen to the audio book, and that'll help you. It'll really help you. So just knowing who they are, how powerful they are, how amazing they are, how everything is set up against you because you of that power and who you are.
Yeah.
And once we wake up from that and really lead with unconditional love for yourself, then that'll translate to everybody else. But it starts with you. We got to be the change we want to see in this world. We can't just weight on politics, weight on teachers, weight on even moms or dads. You got to be the change you want to see.
And I've read your book, and it's so dope. And I got a copy for my son, and he's reading it. He just turned 18 today.
Oh, that's what's up.
Yeah, so it's right on time, actually, because he's been through a lot of trauma as well with me. He's my firstborn, so he's been through everything with me. So we have a really great relationship, and just being able to introduce that book to him is such a great piece. It brought us even closer.
But that's amazing to hear.
Did you draw that? Can we get, hold on, can we get what's
It's
going on?
actually page 15 in the book. It's called Rise Above Hustle.
Yep, you're right.
This is called Rise Above Hustle. And it's really just,
That's so dope.
like if you look at the snake, most people are chasing money.
Yeah,
But really, there's stuff tied to that.
yeah,
And this is your higher self pulling you up. And then, like, I don't know if you see, this is actually an old food stamp. And then this is hands just pulling you down while you trying to elevate and be enlightened. You'll always have entities pulling you both directions when you're trying to move forward. Kind of like what you touched on in the beginning. Like, is it a straight path?
right.
It's a tough path for sure.
Definitely dance with the devil, but I beat him every time. At the end of the day, like when we were talking about anxiety, it's like, I am her already. So why? Like, it's like my higher self, like, what are you doing? You defeated all these things. Like, what's going on here?
I feel like the devil is negative thinking.
Yeah,
The words you say to yourself, whether it's positive or negative, you got God, you got the devil. I don't think it's a person. I don't feel like it's a person. It's you.
yeah,
You can be the devil, you can be God.
yep,
But the one you listen to the most that's important. That's why I say your words are your genie.
hmm,
Whatever you say is true.
yeah,
Try not to say try, as I say it. Think, believe. Just know. Live like you know. That was like one of the mantras I had said to myself. I'm just gonna live like I know, because we always say, "Man, I know." So live like it.
definitely. That's dope. I saw your picture, Phil. It must have wanted some recognition.
Yeah, I guess it wanted some attention.
Yeah, and I'm glad we did. It did, because that's really awesome.
Just art is my first love. Art is something that will always keep me grounded. Will always, whenever I got something in my head I want to get out, I'm gonna draw.
Yeah, draw it out. I bet you got all types of notebooks and sketchbooks and everything.
Yeah, but I give it all away.
Really? Okay.
I don't think artists are supposed to hoard their art. I think that's not the point of art. That's why I love graffiti art. It's just there. It's not.
Yeah,
You can. I don't know. You're just supposed to enjoy it.
yeah,
Because if you tapped into that universal library of creativity, like I call it, it's not just for you. You supposed to translate that out to the world where they can see.
yeah.
But not a lot of people see it. But the ones that's supposed to, it's meant for them.
And that's crazy and amazing that you say that, because I'm a painter, but I wasn't sharing my work, right? I have like this fake gallery in my basement with all.
Why I gotta be fake?
Well, only because I'm the only one that can see it. But
Make it fake.
right, but guess what? My house burned down, and I lost all of my paintings. I lost all of my sketchbooks. I lost all of my drawings. But had I shared that with the world and given it away like I should, like I could have, I would say. See, I'm trying to watch my words. Like I could have given it away, it would have been different. So the fact that you said that kind of makes me want to start again. Because after that, I stopped. I'm like, you know what? There's some pieces I spent years, creating, and no one saw it but me.
But you made the point. That's what I'm saying. I don't think you're supposed to hoard anything. You're supposed to let go everything. Whether you giving it to family, like this one is my son's. I just took it out of the room.
Yeah.
But I don't have really a lot of my own art at all. I give it away because I feel like that's what it's created for. I mean, it ain't for me, it's for the world to see.
Yeah.
And that's why I love tattooing too, because you taking a piece of my art with you.
Right.
Yeah, just
Right.
give it away.
Right. Okay, so and also I wanted to talk real quick about your audio and the music that you're doing. right now, because I think it's really necessary. And I noticed that you had the titles on there, but they're instrumentals. But I could feel the message coming through and notice the intention behind the songs. And I think it's so important to at least try to work these songs into our playlist every day so we can have just a few minutes to stop the noise. Like, okay, if you're going to listen to the radio or whatever crap is on there, if you can implement a few of these into there, it'll be, way better for the world. So I think that's really dope and everybody should go check it out.
Yeah, to tap into that real quick is the album really was for that. It was really another outlet of art. Just through sound, really like what you said, is to bring you to keep you present.
Yeah.
Cause it's a lot of like, don't get me wrong, I listen to music.
Yeah.
But sometimes that gets too loud, and sometimes that just it's a lot of subliminal messages in there that you don't really recognize until you older. Like if you really look at 90 music and how sexual it was and how many in our generation like has so many kids.
Yeah.
And you look at the music now of how many kids have so many guns. It's in the music. It's that frequency, vibration, and energy. So I just try to change the frequency
Yeah.
you're listening to and make it more present in the moment, so you don't have to be distracted by all the words and drama and all this craziness. It gives your brain a break to breathe.
Right.
Whether you being creative, whether you just chilling, whether you just vibing with your friends, your family, going to work, it puts you in that state of meditation and
Yeah, it gives you a break from your programming music. Because I tell I talk about it with my son about music. And he's like, well, Mom, this music, it hypes me up. I know it's bad, but I'm like, yeah, because it's part of your programming. And that's okay. But you have to know that. You have to understand that and then break out of it sometimes.
the energy, frequency, and vibration is real.
Yeah.
Like it can control you. It can move you in different ways. Like he literally is telling himself that he's being affected by this vibration that is being, because we got portals. What you hear, what you see, what you smell, what you taste, like those are all portals into your soul. So you gotta kind of protect that. So I made Gouda for that, for you can be more present and give you something different.
What other ways besides being present can you protect yourself?
Boundaries.
Yeah.
Boundaries, man, energy. We feel people energy. Like as black people, you can always see and feel people's energy. And if you actually don't trust that, then you let a lot of different entities in your circle and your realm. And cleansing yourself, like, calling your energy back every day. I do that every day. Like whatever I give out for the day or whatever I have given out throughout my lifetime, I call it back because it's mine. So I take it serious. So any old relationships, even my kids, even anything, art, that's a lot of energy given. So I call it all back. So it can help me and protect me. Because once you distribute your energy in all these different directions and you've never called it back, then I feel like you kind of leave yourself open to a lot of negative energy to take over. And that's how people feel overwhelmed, anxiety, because you're not calling that energy back.
Yeah, man. Okay. So I guess this interview has been for me. As soon as this is over, because I've done it before, but definitely not
I do it every day, every night,
Yeah.
night. I call it back, and then uh, I gave it all back to the universe for my ancestors to look after me and bring me more clarity, knowledge, purpose, to help me out.
Yeah. Okay. It's definitely a good practice to take. Everybody listening, call your energy back.
Yeah, all of that, all that stuff. Why would you leave it out there?
Yeah. Good Lord. All right. So what's next for Relly Rell? Any projects or messages that we should look out for? I know you say you have thousands.
I got a lot of stuff. So I've actually written 7 books.
Wow.
Only one I put out just because this is the first time I'm actually taking a chance on myself and doing this stuff independently. I used to want to fit in with the industry. I used to want to, man, be on their platform. But there's so much stuff out there now that you can be independent, that you can cultivate your own audience. Kind of like with Dear Black Boyz. Like we started from zero.
Yeah.
I think we almost up to 40,000 followers. Appreciate everybody following.
Yeah.
I don't think most people know it's a book.
Okay.
Because I don't think you knew it's a book.
No. Yeah.
The whole Dear Black Boys page, if you really look at it, it's really to shift your perspective.
Yeah.
That's why it's funny to see like how people react to the post that
Mm-hmm.
I just repost because it's
Right.
more perspective. But really, it's the book. So what's next? Relly Rell Studios, the home of teen animation, about to go fully independent. Whether that's music, animation. Q was actually our first artist. He did the Dear Black Boy Anthem. Q2.
So check that out on Spotify. Dear
It's
Black.
same with the Gouda album. That was just like I'm just about to put out my beats just because I can't keep it. Can't keep it hoarded. So
Man.
then I'm working on like something amazing with technology too that is really gonna shift the whole entire animation industry.
Wow.
I can't really speak on it yet, but
Get it.
so we coming.
Yeah.
For everybody that slept on me, for everybody that you know,
Yeah.
you get up with me. It is what it is. I'm not stopping. So it's a lot coming.
Yeah. I think now is the time. Please don't stop. I know you won't, but important.
So I feel like I still gotta catch myself too. Dear Black Man is coming next. I probably drop that in June, and that's the next book, and that's about unity, but it's an acronym. So U, unconditional love, N, never giving up, I, invest in yourself, T, time is an illusion, and Y, your highest self. So it's really just taking Dear Black Boys, that's an aspect of going inwards, and Dear Black Men is more about unifying us.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that's coming next. The book of Ubuntu, that's like an Afrofuturism. It's about a kid, because all mine is teenager related stories, because that's why it's called Relly Rell Home of Teen Animation, because it's teen driven. But he actually is sent down to Earth to raise mankind's consciousness, and that's like a 900-page book. So it's my Black Harry Potter.
Dope. The energy of that being out is just gonna shift.
And I got another one called Akin 21.
Yeah.
About Akin meaning alike, and 21 is actually the 21st chromosome of kids that make them have Down syndrome. So it stars a Down syndrome kid on this space adventure with his dog Flo. That's a lot of stuff.
No, as an autism mom, that's awesome.
A lot of stuff. Like my job is to bring the voice to the voiceless.
Yeah.
To give stories to the overlooked heroes.
Absolutely. And we need all the help we can get out here. Yeah. So a lot of our platform is our single moms. Do you have any message for us as far as what can we do? How can we start today to improve the relationship with our sons and help them to see themselves for who they really are? Like, what's one thing we can do today?
It's gonna sound great. Read Dear Black Boys, because I was raised by a single mom. And she had 3 boys, and she raised 2 of my cousins. So there was really 5 boys.
Wow.
And one thing that really helped was my mom really just let us be. She let us really find ourselves. And we also was able to, fail a lot. So I say for the mothers out there is just show love, because I feel like that's the number one thing that we gonna remember is the unconditional love you show us, and you almost gotta be the hype man too. Like my mom she let me she used to let me draw on my walls and paint on my walls, and that really just helped my creativity.
Yeah.
Let them try whatever, read Dear Black Boys, and catch their words. Make sure they even understand what they saying is important and powerful. That you can't just say stuff just because you playing, because the universe, the energy don't know.
Right.
Or not. So I don't know, just be moms.
Yeah.
Mom's gonna be moms regardless. I don't think there's anything that's gonna change that, but it also will help if when they do tell their truth, don't get too mad. At the end of the day, it's their truth. You can agree and still not agree. And I know that sounds crazy, but I feel like that's perspective. It's not about right or wrong. It's just I can hear you, I can hear what you're saying, but I don't necessarily have to agree, but I can agree with you. Because whatever you say is true. Doesn't make it true for me, but whatever you say is true. Yeah, just show love and work on your own demons as well.
Yeah.
We deal with a lot of trauma, and I would say don't hide this stuff too. Because when you hide, and then
Right.
the kid's gonna go pick up that same
Yeah.
that same stuff. So be honest and live your own truth. Be the change you want to see in the world. If moms want a better relationship with they kids and they Black boys, just be the change you want to see in the world. Don't expect him to be the change when you ain't doing it.
Right, exactly.
So it always starts with us.
Yeah,
I don't really like to put it on certain people. It's just work on yourself. If you work on yourself, then it's automatically gonna translate to everybody around you.
Yeah.
It's just how it's gonna be.
That's true. You heal everything like that. Everything in your field, even your DNA.
I do got a question for you though. Like,
Yeah.
what part of the book impacted you the most?
I think the message from the universe, and I know that it's in the beginning, but it kind of caught me off guard because it's like, and this is how you coming up front, and just for boys to know who they are, who they really are, and because a lot of times you don't think past your school day, but if you can start knowing the whole universe has your back, then it's so awesome. So that's what impacted me the most. And that's what made me get the hard copy. I'm like, yep.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Yeah.
You do know in the hard copy is actually a cipher in there too. So there's like a hidden message in the margins.
Really? Is it on the paperback? I say hard copy, but I meant physical copy.
Yeah, it's in the whole entire book. What the only difference between the hard copy and the paperback is the color.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you look for this code is the cipher code. This is actually if you actually go to some of the pages, there's a whole entire hidden message
Wow.
throughout the whole entire book, even in the back.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's a whole entire interactive book. So this is not just reading. This is, it has the affirmations in the bag, it has the Dear Black Boy alphabet, it has the Breaking the Chain solo challenge to actually help you watch what you're saying.
Yeah.
And you can start hearing other people's words. And then the art, you can enjoy the art as well.
Yeah.
It's for everybody.
So multi-level, multi-dimensional. All of your works are. That's so dope. We think you scratch the surface and then there's more. So that's extremely rare.
Yeah. It's just making us, we creative.
Yeah.
And all the publishers that slept on this, it is what it is.
Sorry for you. But man, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. This conversation has been so awesome. I was really serious about this one, you guys, because I believe we have similar missions in raising our Black boys and changing the narratives and breaking out of some of these generational cycles. So thank you so much for joining us and being with us today. Let us know one more time where we can find your work and support your mission and kind of follow along on your journey, because you got so much stuff coming out. I want to make sure everybody's front row.
I mean, anything new, like if you really want to know anything new, the Relly Rell Studios page on Instagram. Dear Black Boyz is available iTunes, Books, Audible, and Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
You can get a hard copy there. The music, Q2 Cool, that's on Spotify, Amazon, YouTube, iTunes, iHeartRadio. It's really distributed through DistroKids, so they distribute to everywhere. The Google album, same thing.
Okay.
Anything new, anything you wanna. If you want to stay up on what Relly Rell Studios is doing, Relly Rell Studios at Relly Rell Studios on IG. That's pretty much it.
Okay. Well, remember that, you guys. I will definitely put all that in the comments. So make sure you go check it out. Thank you so much again for coming. This has been an amazing, amazing interview. Go get the book. Get your sons the book. Get your nephews the book. Get little Ray the book. Get everybody the book.
Moms too. Moms, I'm tired.
And if you're like some moms, you deal with the father of their kid is incarcerated. So if you are listening and the mother of your child needs assistance and you can't get to your son, get her to get this book. Hit up Relly Rell for more information on the Dear Black Boyz movement. Thanks. I can't thank you enough. I'm really grateful for you and for your energy and for everything you've given us today.
I appreciate you and thank you for having me. Much success to your show. Big things are coming, and raising kings. That's the new wave for sure. It's just know I'll be back. I know. One that was chosen. Even though they tried to teach you that appreciate you. Bring out some success is nearly hopeless.
There you have it. Thank you for joining us for another episode of the Raising Kings Podcast.
Then I really pray you good at floating. Gotta learn fast. Ain't no mercy coming from these oceans. With every wave comes a test to your emotions. You gotta get over it or make it under it. Ain't always calm seas, it might be thundering. See one of your brothers next to you struggling and have you wondering, how can you help him when you yourself are suffering? Now you gotta reach land for both and come back with boats. But when you make it on the shoreline, you see you got So much further to go. So much further to go. And the look up on your face is like you just seen ghosts. On horses with torches, lowercase t's burning slow. Heart beating fast, cause you ain't never heard of Jim Crow. Whoa. But off you go. Now you gotta lace up your boots and trek through the dirt in the desert. But now the hue of your skin more convenient than ever. The scars on your back are just proof to your endeavors. Just keep it going even when you think it'll never get better. Front line, so there's a target on your front and your back. You'll take hits, but you gon' see you much stronger than that. To take you out, man, it's gon' take a lot more than just that. If you ask me, man, I'm speaking more than just facts. Drowning in sweat, you'll see the dirt turn to street. Face a different type of heat and hear a different type of beat. Gotta be quick on your feet or have your face pressed against the concrete. Cause your description's a wide reach. Black male between 5'5" and 6'9". Even with your own kind, you might be forced to pick sides. So pick a color, any color, they all the same price. That's $1.99 and a life. Yikes. Yikes. But say you was never a part of that life and had some kids with a wife, a big house with a job where they was paying you right. You still got generational curses to break and trauma to deal with. Everything your mother taught you was taught to her real quick, and her teacher had wounds to heal from, but nothing to heal with. I'm just saying, everybody teaching been on their own field trip. Had to work harder cause you started off with nothing to build with. But yet you still build buildings, you still raise ceilings and execute visions. You still break molds and you still owe trillions. 400 years a slave, not even 160 free. What was passed down ain't dilute enough to forget the tree. So it's just heartbroken people teaching heartbroken things. Whether it's right or it's wrong, it gets stuck in your brain. Like the plot is to put you in a box and make it your domain. But you cannot let them put on that lock, you got to break the chains. Be the change, it's a must, no it ain't easy, it take guts. Gonna be times you wanna quit, don't give up, nah, don't give up. Take a breath, feel that rush, hit the clutch, kick up dust, make them sneeze, that's what they need. Experiment like Tuskegee. Hey, hey, you got it. Yeah, yeah, you got it. Hey, hey, you got this. You got it. You got it. Got it. Yeah, yeah, you got it. Hey, hey, you got it. You got it. That's right, you got it. Hey, hey, you got this. That's right, you got it. That's right, you got it. You got it. You got it. Yeah, yeah, you got it. Hey, hey, you got it. You got it, you got it, you got it.